Hello everyone, myself Dr.Shubh Arora. Once again, I welcome you back to the lecture series of the subject Marketing Management. Today is the sixth lecture of Marketing Management, and we are on the first module itself. Today's topic would be macro environment, consumer decision making, and the steps involved in the consumer decision making process, and we'll also talk about industrial marketing. So in our previous lecture, we had discussed about marketing environment, external and internal environment, and then we also discussed about the micro environment. So today would be the macro environment. In macro environment, it includes all those elements or forces which are uncontrollable. That means which are not in control of the organization. So as you can see in the figure on your screen, that the elements of macro environment are like political environment, legal environment, social, economic and technological. So when we talk about these forces which lie in the micro environment of a business, so these forces are totally external and beyond the control of the organization. So whatever changes, when we come to define define macro environment, whatever changes come in the or take place in these elements which the macro environment consists of, these changes have to be adopted by the organization, because organization cannot change these elements, right? So definitely changes in the, for example, if we talk about changes in the legal bylaws or rules, or changes in the political trends, right, political, due to changes in the political structure of a country. So the organizations existing in that particular region, or if that political changes for the entire nation, so definitely the businesses have to abide by the rules which are given by the current political government, right? So that is what they are saying. These forces act externally to the business and are beyond the control of an organization. Therefore, these elements are called as uncontrollable. Here we'll discuss about the different elements. The first is political and legal factors. See, from time to time there are certain changes in the political parties or the political structure. Then also there are certain changes in the market in terms of trade, taxes, codes, duties, practices, right, market regulations, etc. So the firms, the businesses who are doing business in the market, they need to abide by these changes which prevail in the political and legal environment of an organization, right? So they have to, for the organizations or the companies have to follow these political and legal factors, right? Because violating these, the rules of these environment would might penalize the business, right? So definitely the businesses will have to abide by the rules or the codes or the taxation system which has been given by the legal and political factors in the external environment. And now we come to the second factor, that is the economic factors. See, business definitely prevails in the economy of a nation, right? So there are different types of changes in the economy from time to time. There might be a situation where there is a scenario of recession in the market, right? Or there might be some kind of inflation, some changes in the inflation, right? So based on the economic changes, or based on the changes which happen in the economy of the nation, the businesses have to again follow and abide by these economic changes from time to time. Now we come to the third, that is the social factor. See, again businesses are being done totally based on the orientation, that is customer oriented. All the activities which are being done or operated by the business are totally consumer oriented. So definitely, where does the consumer lies? Consumer lies and is a part of a society, right? So every business carries some responsibility towards the society or the people living in the society. So therefore, whatever marketing practices or activities are being taken or done by the organizations or by the companies should be done in such a way that the firm should make sure that no marketing activity or operation is harming the society or harming the interest of the people living in the society. In fact, the business activity should be done in such a way so that it helps the organizations to contribute in the welfare of the society. Basically, the objective or the whole sort objective of the organization should not only on earning money. In fact, apart from that, it should also, the organizations or companies should also focus on contributing some portion or taking certain initiatives for the social welfare of the people also, so that it can benefit the entire society as a well, right, as a whole. Now we come to the fourth point, that is the technological factors. So when we talk about the technological factors, as we all know that in a lot of technological advancements, changes, innovations are taking place, right? So in today's global competitive world, in fact we have to say this, the organizations cannot just stay back and use the old dated technology or the old dated methods of production, for example, or the old ways of doing marketing or promoting the products. So here comes the role of the organizations to adopt the latest advancements in terms of technology, right, so that the customer can be given updated products, or the products can be produced with updated technologies, right? And when this happens, definitely customers will be happy, the needs of the customers will be satisfied in a better way. So this was about the marketing environment. We have covered the internal, external and the macro environment. Now we come to the next topic, that is the consumer decision making process. See, when we talk about the consumer decision making process, it totally says and can be defined as the process of identifying and verifying the decision making pattern or the buying pattern of a consumer, right? So when a consumer comes to the market, what exactly is going on in the mind of the consumer, or what steps the consumer will take before coming or before reaching the final step, that is the buying buying decision, right? So before purchasing, definitely the consumer will go through certain steps or stages. So all this we are going to study in this, in the consumer decision making process. Here let me also clear one more thing, that there is a difference between the two terms, that is customer and consumer. See, customer is someone who is purchasing the product either for selling it further, or to, for example, I am purchasing a product for my brother, right? So I am not the ultimate consumer because I am not consuming that product. My brother is the ultimate consumer, but who has purchased? I have purchased, so I will be the customer, and my brother, who is the end user, would be the consumer, right? So customer is someone who purchases, but at times there might be situations where customer can be the end user as well, right? So this is the slight difference between the two terms, consumer and customer. Here I have tried to show the different stages of purchasing when the customer comes into the cycle of purchasing a product or service. So first is the need arises, right? There is a trigger that you need something. So when there is a trigger in your mind that you need something, you start searching, right? That is the second step, that you start gathering or you start searching for that product, or you start finding options, right? Then the third step is evaluation of alternatives. Evaluation of alternatives says that when you are searching, you generally, as a human being, mind of a human being, you never get satisfied just seeing onto one product or the product of only one brand and you go take a decision for purchasing. You definitely want to have and find out or explore more options. So that is the third step, that is the evaluation of alternatives. In this budget, what other options are there, what better products can I avail, or what more products can I see with better benefits, some kind of add-ons with the product. Then comes is when you have evaluated and done the analysis of all the best possible options or alternatives within your budget, within your geographical location, then you come to the decision, that is you decide that okay, I am going to purchase this product or avail this service, I am going to spend the money now. and after you have spent the money, now is the post purchase evaluation. See, before purchasing it was the pre purchase, and after purchasing it is the post purchase. That means you try to analyze that whatever money you have spent, whether it was worth it, right? Whether it was worth it, or are you happy, are you satisfied, or did the product was beyond expectations, or was not up to the mark, what was the performance, right? So all these questions come to your mind. That is kind of a feedback, or kind of reviews, right? These days, you especially when you are doing this online shopping or something like that, what do you do on e-commerce sites? You can easily give your ratings and reviews regarding the product which you have purchased, because that those ratings or reviews generally help the other customers who are in the process of purchasing the same product, right? Now step 1 we have already discussed, that the need has triggered, and it is a very important factor which leads to buying the products and services. So need has arisen, and this due to this need, you have now in the further step you will start finding options, right? So the step 2 is when an individual recognizes his need and tries to gather more and more information regarding how to satisfy that need. So for gathering information for before purchasing a product, you try to gather information from different sources. Like some of the sources may be personal sources. Now what all covers in your personal sources might be your family members, your relatives, your colleagues, your friends, your people with whom you are working at work, right? So all these would be the personal sources. Then we come to commercial sources. When you see certain promotions, some ads, some offers, some discounts, something catchy written on the package of a product, right? So all those are the commercial sources which try to grab the attention of the customer. And then third is the public sources, through newspaper, radio, magazine. All these are the public sources. Then experiential sources, such as the individual's own experience, right? So someone who definitely purchased a Dell laptop again if he had already used one. So if you want to buy a laptop and you have already used a Dell laptop, and if your feedback is good and you are happy, and if you want to buy a new one, or someone is asking you for your advice, so definitely you will go for Dell, or you would advise Dell, right? On the other hand, if you are not satisfied with the quality of laptop of Dell, or the properties or the features, you would never suggest, right? So that is the experiential. That means you would try to get information before purchasing from the people or from the sources who have already experienced the product or service of that particular brand, right? So these are certain sources which get covered in the step 2. Then comes is the when you have lot of options in front of you, that is the step 3. Now you have to evaluate all the options available, or evaluation of alternatives, right, available in the market, and based on that you try to choose one which would suit the need of yours and is also pocket friendly to you. That means is being covered within the budget which you are thinking to purchase the product. Then we come to is the fourth step, that is after going from all the above stages, and now fourth is the final step, that when the consumer is ready to spend the money and has 100% made the mind that this is what I am going to buy and I want to buy. Then fifth step is post purchase. That means when after purchasing you try to evaluate and you try to do some kind of customer analysis, right, or you try to give suggestion or advices to someone else regarding the product which you bought. So that is the step 5, that is the post purchase step, or the post purchase decision. Okay, next we will talk about industrial marketing. See, when we talk about industrial marketing, it totally deals with the industrial products. And what are industrial products? That is the products which are used for producing something, for producing, like raw materials are required to produce finished goods. So for example, they are saying that a company opens up and needs around 1000 computers in an office, right, for its employers. So those 1000 computers would be industrial product, because those computers will be used again to do business and will be used by the employees. right? So these would be industrial products, and the marketing of such industrial products is called as industrial marketing, right? Okay. You can also have a look on the main characteristics or the features of industrial marketing. That is, there are very few buyers. When we talk about industrial marketing, it is not oriented on large number of buyers, right? It only focuses on more suitable buyers. So basically the buyers are very focused, right, in which they can give immediate use to the product. Then we talk about the second, that is the geographical distribution. When we talk about the geographical distribution, it tends to concentrate totally on specific urban and rural aspects, right? The industrial market is in specific places, and there in those places there might be large volume of production, right, and which in turn requires a large number of people to move around the factory. Okay, next we come to the third, is that it includes future vision. So when we talk about industrial marketer, it does, that marketer does not pursue the satisfaction. So when we talk about industrial marketer, the focus of industrial marketer here is not to directly satisfy the customer, right? But this, in fact, the industrial marketer is trying to supply the products which can be further used to produce the final product, right? So here the ultimate focus of industrial marketer is not of achieving customer satisfaction. Then we come to the fourth point, that is the reduced impact on demand. The industrial market stands out because it does not influences much in what the users want, right? Since it is not consumer oriented, or the direct motive of industrial marketer is not to satisfy the consumers, so here the industrial marketer is not focusing on what the wants are there of the consumers, or what the consumer wants, right? So because there are certain pre-established requirements which are to be taken care by the manufacturer, right? So this is all for today's lecture, in which we covered about the macro environment and the components. Then we also discussed about consumer decision making process and the steps involved in it, and we also discussed about industrial marketing and the various characteristics. So we'll be covering the following topics of unit 1 in the following lectures. Till then, thank you, take care.